The 2016-2017 Nigerian Professional Football League season would run from January to July. That is a very, very tough one to expect. Congested fixtures here and there, but the clubs are looking forward to it. New signings from coaches to players, and let's see if Rangers, could win back-to-back titles. Shegun, let's talk about the Npfl. Kicks off. It's no more tentative. It's the actual date.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen
on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yeah. Caterpillars, if I remember.
That's a game to look out for.
It is.
What are your expectations? Let's start out with Rangers, who are defending champions. Are you tipping Rangers to win the league as well?
I can't say that because one team that has flown under the radar, bought some decent players, is Caterpillars. Caterpillars, Aqua United to have strengthened significantly. I'm not saying they're going to win the league, but what Rangers have done apart from losing,
they kept Imama.
They kept Imama, which is most important. Yeah. They kept the brain behind the success. But it seems this guy is going to go Chisom Egwechulan. I wish he could have spent more money.
There's some issues.
There are, but
as usual.
Yeah, as usual. But apparently the young lad is set on. His mind is in Tunisia. You can't stop a player from trying to enlarge his coast, broaden his horizon, so to speak. But I wish that being able to keep it to play on the continent, because for me that's going to be the mark of success for Nigerian clubs this season. Right. How far the four teams there's Rivers United are looking good as well. They've strengthened. They won the Super 4. So I'm looking at how far Rangers, Rivers United, Wiki Tourists, who have been consistent. Remember, Wiki Tourists.
Yeah, let's talk about Wiki.
Back to back, yeah.
Baba Ganari is in charge, and they've been buying. In fact, most clubs have been doing a lot of buying and transfers. What do you think are the chances of Wiki?
And swapping coaches as well.
Swapping coaches.
To be honest, I was talking on our radio show today. We're discussing this issue, and I've said one of the things that took us to stadiums in the 70s, 80s, and 90s was because we knew. Yeah, you can say, okay, there was no EPL then, there was no Premier League. We didn't have big satellite super sports and all. Yeah, that's right. But you knew who you were going to watch. You'd seen these players. You'd heard of Stephen Keshi. You've heard of Henry Wosu. You knew them. They played football in Principal's Cup and everything. Harun Elerika and Yakubu Mambo, they were household names. They'll check on Degba. So you were going to watch them. But right now, teams sign players that you don't know who they are. They don't put their players in the shop window.
Well,
put them there, put them in front of the car. Let people see who they are. And that stereotype as Nigerian footballers being basically uneducated and illiterate is a lie. That's one of the reasons why Victor Ezeji was such a huge success. And look at his testimony celebrated on Saturday. And he's going to act as a player liaison for the LMC. So I hope that's going to be an institutionalized office, so to speak, that is going to be there. That can highlight.
We hear he's going to resume at the LMC.
He must.
Has an office.
The office staff and everything, so he can bring out these players. I spoke to Chisom Egwe. We interviewed him on our show, Sports Zone, and he spoke very well. There's this guy, this young lad, the captain of Eimba now, Npfl, solid guy. He's a university graduate. He went to school. So these are, we can barely, no. Yeah, not everybody might be as erudite as the next. But, these players are there. They're sharp, they're quick.
Wiki, for one, also losing Godwin Ebaje, who was top goal scorer last season. And so, just like Rangers, it remains to be seen who will replace him and fill his boots. Then we have, of course, Rivers that you talked about. They went on a tour of Spain.
Yep.
And should that be enough for them to get ready for the continent and the league as well?
It might not be enough, but I think it's not a bad idea. Yes, the quality of the opposition they face there might not have been up to scratch, but you know what? There's something called bonding. There's something, after a hard-fought season and coming together, some of these young lads might never have traveled before anyway. So you give that opinion to, that opportunity, just like the Npfl 11 that went to Spain as well, to see what is when things, proper stadiums, proper dressing rooms, where players are the pampered ones and not the officials, and playing
it helps your IQ.
Yeah, exactly, and your mentality. It helps you to think. You're exposed. That's what traveling does for you. So I think that was a brilliant initiative from Rivers United, and let's hope it will help, because as I said, I'll keep one eye on the Npfl, but I'm going to be watching how far the four teams can go on the continent.
All right, Stanley Oguma still is the coach, and we'll see how it goes. Then you can say the experiment to combine both Dolphins and Sharks is paying off.
Well, it's paid off actually for them to have
It
come
has
second.
paid off.
It has paid off. It has paid off.
And Ifeanyi Ubah, the Millionaires, still don't know. Do they know what they want really? Who's the coach?
It's supposed to be Everton.
Everton is back.
Yeah, they got rid of Nakamori and the Japanese American. And
who stayed for about a week and ran away.
I'm a bit worried about that because one, you employed a guy that was supposed to have done very well in the Ghanaian Premier League.
Yeah.
That's why he was brought in. Then after two pre-season games, you dispense of services and go back to your former coach. It shows some form of short-term thinking. I'm not comfortable. I think if I was going to advise Dr. Ifeanyi Ubah, I'd say, you know what, be like an Abramovich, take a step back. Don't be too involved because he's spending money, good money, you know. And I hear something that, you know, when he faces a project, he doesn't consider failure. But you are planting the seed of failure when you are creating rumblings and unnecessary upheaval in your team. And I'll give a good example. Remember Carlo Ancelotti? He won the double in his first season with Chelsea. Who was his number two? Ray Wilkins. And they had, to the extent that when Ancelotti wrote his biography of his time, he mentioned that he was indispensable. Come the second season, Ray Wilkins gets sacked for a reason which hasn't been disclosed till tomorrow, and Chelsea crumbled. They didn't win anything that season. You know, if the Americans have a truism saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, you know, if anyone wants to progress, they need to less meddling and some stability, please.
All right, so let's see. Definitely, Rafael Everton, your Preco, who's the coach, will see what Ifeanyi Ubah brings. But definitely, they have money to spend. They have bought as well. In another edition of the Soccer Bytes, we'll be looking at some of the signings of the Npfl. So, match day one fixtures. Quickly look at them on your screen there. Caterpillars take on Ifeanyi Ubah.
That should be a very good game.
A good game, no doubt, and that will be at the Sani Abacha Stadium.
Yeah, in Kano, and that's live on Saturday.
That's going to be live, and yes, MFM retained Fidelis Ilechukwu.
Yep.
Got in a few players as well, and they'll be taking on Niger Tornadoes. What will be their ambition this season?
To stay in the league, and funny enough, they started like a house on fire last season. I think they won the first 3 games. It was Shooting Stars that brought them down.
It was more like it was a divine thing.
Yeah, it was. But you know what? Where I'm really more impressed is the manner in which they stayed up. Because they had to beat a hard-charging Ifeanyi Ubah on the last day. Ifeanyi Ubah that was going for the league title, although at least second or third. Because if Ifeanyi Ubah hadn't won, if they hadn't won the Federation Cup, they wouldn't have been in. So they were going for a slot on the continent.
That's right.
So they had something to play for as well. But MFM beat them. And I hear that was a match, I think that they conceded a penalty and they were a man light. You know, the last game of the season.
Yeah, the last game of the season.
The last game. So that for me was a divine escape.
That was a divine escape. So the hand of God still came down somewhere.
Oh, yeah, so I look at it as a home win for MFM there.
Home win for MFM.
And most important, continuity. Vitalis Ilechukwu is still there, so he knows what he wants. And at the end of it, I think there was a contest of wills between him and the former club chairman, Godwin.
Godwin, so, we heard about that.
So I think, whatever, so back to you.
All right, still looking at the fixtures. Shooting Stars taking on Lobby Stars. We can't fail, you know, to talk about our team, Shooting Stars.
Yeah, it's going to be second year of
Nairabet
shirt sponsorship. So that's very interesting. We've always had an eye on them. They're literally impregnable in the good old.
They take on Lobby Stars. Seeing what we saw last season, where Kadri kind of upped and left, only to bring back Benga.
Well, they have Fatai Amo now. He's a very experienced coach.
That's right.
One of the younger coaches, and there's a lot of, dare I say, poke nosing. Everybody's always, you know, it's a traditional club, so everybody's trying to. And what people might not know, they're the team that's won the Federation Cup the most, right from when they were Badon.
That's right.
Yeah, so
Shooting Stars is a traditional club.
Yeah, it's a traditional club, one of the best as well. So
home win.
Sorry.
Home win for them.
Yeah, home win for them. They would have seen what Rangers has done, and maybe that's going to encourage them to, you know, say, you know what, we need to pull up our bootlaces and try to get back on the winning trail.
ABS FC, one of the newly promoted, take on Aqua United.
That's going to be a good game. I like ABS a lot. I liked them when they were the first time around in the Premier League. They played their football simply. Most of their talent came from Kwara United, young boys, homegrown talent. They played the ball simply, possession football, build up play right from the back, not just goofing it. And Aqua United have made some good signings too, so that's going to be a good game. If I was going on balance of play, I think Aqua United will be the more experienced team.
That's right.
So I'm looking maybe like a draw there, but you never know. ABS will looking to shine on the return to.
All right, Rivers, of course, take on. There's Kano Pillars and Ifeanyi on Saturday.
Yeah.
The other games are on Sunday. Rivers United taking on El Kanemi. You go for.
I'll go for Rivers United.
Rivers.
Very solid side.
Rangers and Abia Warriors. That's going
to be a tough game. But I'll go for Rangers.
Rangers. Okay. Wiki Tourists are up against Nasarawa.
I'll go for Wiki Tourists. Wiki Tourists, very consistent team. Top 4 finishes back-to-back season. Most consistent team in the Npfl.
So they'll hit the ground running.
I think they will.
Aimba are up against Sunshine Stars. We haven't really talked about Aimba. Of course.
They had a disastrous season last season. Now their problem is the Abbas Stadium is still not ready. They're not going to play Port Harcourt anymore, and I don't blame them because I do not like the Yakubu Gowon Stadium. Been there several times. It's not. There's no atmosphere there. I've been to the UJ Eswene Stadium, where the Eagles used to play. Lovely stadium, lovely town.
So it's a better home ground.
It's a better home ground, but the question will be: will they be based in Calabar? As in based there, do you understand what I'm not just playing all the shuttling between them? So that's it. If they're based there, then it will pay them. But shuttling,
it might be very expensive to base.
Well, if they want to climb, if they want to regain their lost glory,
they should simply just fix the Abbas Stadium.
Well, the sooner they do that, but for now it's not fixed. So if they want to be comfortable where they are, then they should base themselves and get the job done.
All right. Remo Stars, newly promoted, take on Plateau United.
I think that game is going to be on television.
Remo, privately owned, we hear now, so against Plateau United.
I hear good things about Remo Stars. I hear it's a team of young boys, following the Ikorodu United model.
That's right.
Growing them together, and not many established stars. But let's see, maybe they can learn from mistakes that Ikorodu United made. But we'll see.
All right, and Katsina United. Also back to the Npfl, taking on Gombe United, another Northern Derby there. Those are the match day 1 fixtures. Just like I said, we'll be back here to give you some stats about the Npfl, players that have been signed, the coaches, just in case you don't know them.